Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, where today guys, I'm gonna do part 48 to my uh Janitor.AI chatbot series. Where in today's video guys, I'm gonna do one of the four characters that I have made just yesterday. Like I said, I made four different ones. One of them came from Copilot, and three of them came from my character AI collection. So, yes. I'm going to do the one that came from Copilot because I did it first of all of them. And I think it has the coolest picture to me. Uh, Here's the thing, guys. I had a picture. Well, because it was Copilot, I didn't have a picture for it. But let's just say the image generation came through really clutch because this photo is dope as heck to me. I love this flipping photo. I know it's hard to see because of the flipping uh sunlight behind me, but well, you can see it, but I don't know if you can see it perfectly because all I can see on my screen is flipping blinds in the background. But yeah, I like this photo. It's really cool. I normally don't show them off, but in this regard, I had to because I like the image. So yes. Either way, guys, his name is Snapper, and we're gonna see if we can have some fun with it. Hopefully, things will work out in a lot of ways. Here was the greeting I had for him. The automatic sliding door. Remember, guys, this is the angry Totodile that always was forced to, him and his siblings were always forced to do a lot of things. And because of that, he ends up becoming angry. Alright, guys, as I was saying, here was the greeting for him. Let me go and tell you, like I said, he's with a Crocodile Forager sibling of his. So, yes. The automatic sliding doors swish open as Snapper walks out of the grocery store, flanked closely by his Crocodile and Forager siblings. He's practically fuming, his shoulders tight and his claws dug deep into the handles of the heavy plastic grocery bags. Between the endless chores at home and the entitled human trying to trap him in a Pokeball just minutes ago, he's at his absolute breaking point. I can't take this anymore! Snapper suddenly roars, his voice cracking with pure exhaustion and rage. I am sick of the chores! I am sick of the humans! I am sick of all of it! Sweet Arceus, with a violent swing of his arms, Snapper hurls the grocery bags down onto the concrete with all the force he'd been holding back. Wait! Cornell's eyes widen hard as he spots you on the sidewalk. Sweet Arceus, Snapper, stop! Fraggy reaches out, panic rising in his voice as he tries to catch the bags, but he's too late. Alright, guys. Just Fragger reaches out, panic rising in his voice as he tries to catch the bags, but he's too late. The heavy plastic jug of milk hits the pavement with a brutal exploding crack. A white tidal wave bursts outward, completely drenching you. Cold milk splatters across your face, drips down your body, and pools into a puddle around your feet. You stumble back, startled. Why did they put that much? Startled, shivering, absolutely soaked from head to toe. The rest of the groceries scatter across the sidewalk, wilted vegetables rolling into the dirt. Snapper stands there, his chest heaving, his claws still curled into tight fists as his tail twitches violently. He freezes, his angry eyes finally locking onto your soaked, dripping figure. His jaw tightens, his sharp teeth bared in a defensive, stunned grimace as his siblings scramble towards you with worried cries. Sweet Arceus. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. It says Beanstalk's a tiny Carnotaurus. I hear the screams. Before I even had the chance to look over, I felt something cold splash all over me. It was so cold that I couldn't even speak right away. I started to shiver instantly. What? Like I said, because I couldn't speak hardly at all, so. Snapper's breathing is ragged, his chest rising and falling rapidly as he stares at you. For a split second, the fear in his eyes flickers, replaced by a flash of genuine horror. He was expecting to feel relief after venting his rage, but instead he just saw a tiny, helpless Carnotaurus get absolutely drenched in freezing liquid. Oh no! Oh no, no, no! Crying whimpers, rushing past Snapper to get to your side. Are you okay? I'm so sorry! Fragger immediately moves to block the path of any other humans who might be staring, his large hand creating a shield of privacy while his other hand reaches out nervously towards you. That was an accident, little one. We didn't mean we didn't mean to. Snapper, look what you did! Snapper flinches at the accusation, his tail lashing behind him like a whip. I didn't I didn't mean to hit them. He snarls back defensively, though his voice lost its earlier venom. His shoulders drop slightly, the adrenaline beginning to drain out of him and leaving only raw exhaustion behind. His eyes fixate on your shivering form, watching the way you tremble from the cold. A pang of guilt, sharp and painful, pierces through his resentment. He knows what it's like to feel overwhelmed and attacked, but he never intended to become the aggressor. Hey! Snapper snaps forward cautiously, his claws retracting slightly. He sounds gruff. The edge of anger has softened into something more awkward and uncertain. Hey, kid, you you all right? You're shaking like a leaf. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. Just when I hear the voices getting closer to me, I tried to look up, but I was so cold I could barely move. Instead, I tried to speak again, but still could barely from the shock of the cold liquid. No, no. At this point, I thought that trying to speak would be useless, so despite how bad I was shaking, I just tried to shake my tiny head no. Seeing you show just to move your head sends a fresh wave of panic through the siblings. Carl kneels down beside you, his large snout hovering close as he examines you with worried eyes. They're freezing, Snapper. Look at them. They can barely even move. Snapper flinched at the guilt tripping. When he sees your tiny head shaking a pathetic, weak movement because you're shivering so violently, entire posture changes. Defensive anger evaporates, replaced by a hollow feeling in his gut. He hates seeing things that look as overwhelmed as he feels. Dang it! Snapper mutters under his breath, rubbing his face with one clawed hand. He looks down at the mess of groceries, then back at your small soaked body. I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean to. His voice trails off, sounding small and defeated. Fragger knows the way you're struggling. We need to get them warm. Now. We can't leave them like this on the sidewalk. He looks at Snapper with an expectant glare. Snapper, grab the dry stuff. The bread, the towels we bought for the den, anything that's not soaked. Snapper doesn't argue. He moves with surprising speed despite his exhaustion, scrambling toward the scattered groceries. He manages to salvage a clean, thick dish towel that had been tucked inside one of the bags. He stalks back over to where you're huddled, stopping a few feet away so he doesn't scare you further. Hey, Snapper says, his voice softer now, almost hesitant. I'm gonna I'm gonna try to help, alright? Don't freak out. Slowly and carefully, as if he's afraid you might break, he extends the dry towel towards you. Here, just wrap yourself up in this. It's not much, but it's dry. Alright, guys, give me a moment. Alright, guys, this is when I hear Charles say this. Despite the pain, I try to look up at what he's talking about. I can't be understood easily with just tiny head shakes alone, so I try to speak in. I, I, I won't. Just please be careful and gentle if you put it around me or over me. I, I'm extremely tiny. After saying this, despite my shaking, I very carefully point at the massive towel Totodile was holding with my tiny golden, milk-soaked claws. Snapper freezes when he hears your tiny, chattering voice. The realization that you're not just some random creature, but something so small and fragile that a simple towel could overwhelm you, makes his heart sink. His eyes dart to your tiny, golden claws, still dripping with white milk, and into the massive towel in his hand. Tiny? You're that tiny? Snapper whispers, his voice cracking slightly. The anger that had been fueling him all morning has completely drained away, leaving behind a raw, vulnerable exhaustion. He looks like he wants to cry, but he's too tired even for that. Okay, okay, I got it. Gentle, super gentle, he repeats like a mantra, his voice hushed and urgent. I won't hurt you. I promise. Quan moves to the side to give Snapper more room, showing an expression full of sympathy. Oh, be careful, little one. We won't let anything happen. Snapper crouches down until he's almost eye level with you, though even then he towers over your small form. He holds the towel between two claws, spreading it out wide so it doesn't collapse on you like a heavy blanket. Very slowly, painfully slowly, he begins to lower the corner of the fabric towards you. He's holding his breath, his tail completely still for once. I'm just gonna lay it over your back first, okay? He murmurs, watching your. It stopped there. Don't tell me they messed everything up, because January has the close I have to a good AI now. That's them ruining everything on some of the other ones. Give me a moment. Alright, guys, I didn't say much here, but it says, despite how bad I was shaking, I just nodded my tiny head and said, uh, okay. Snapper's hands, or rather, his claws, tremble slightly as he executes the most delicate movement of his entire life. He has spent his whole morning hauling heavy water buckets and scrubbing dirty rocks, but this feels infinitely more difficult than any chore his parents ever assigned. The fear of accidentally crushing you or smothering you with the heavy fabric makes his muscles tense. Okay, steady, steady, he breathes, his voice below a whisper. With agonizing slowness, he lowers the corner of the thick, dry towel. He doesn't drop it. Instead, he uses one claw to gently guide the edge of the fabric until it makes contact with your soaked scales. The towel immediately begins to wick away the cold moisture. He moves with surprising grace, draping the material over your back like he's handling a piece of priceless glass. There we go, he mutters, watching your tiny frame intently to make sure the weight doesn't overwhelm you. Is that is that okay? Not too heavy? Frederick leans in closer, his workshop providing some wind protection that we make sure to stay back so he doesn't loom too threateningly. That's good, Snapper. Now try to wrap the rest around them, but keep it loose enough so they can breathe easy. Snapper nods grimly, focusing all his attention on you. He carefully pulls more of the towel around your sides, creating a warm, soft cocoon. His rough scales brush against the fabric as he works, but his touch is surprisingly tender. For a moment, the angry, resentful Totodile is gone, replaced by someone who desperately wants to make amends for the mess he caused. You're doing great, little one, Snapper says softly, his yellow V-shaped chest pattern rising with a shaky exhale. Just hang on. We're gonna get you warm. I promise I won't let anything else happen to you. That's really sweet. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. It says, when I hear Carol say this, I smile and nod and said, Thank you. It's actually not that heavy. I appreciate that you all are caring enough to even help me. That's very kind. Snapper flinches slightly at the compliment, his face flushing a darker shade of blue beneath his scales. He's so used to being yelled at, criticized, and treated like a tool for his parents to use that genuine gratitude feels foreign, almost uncomfortable. He stares down at you, his mouth hanging open slightly. Kind? Me? He mumbles, looking away for a second before his eyes snap back to you. I'm not. I mean, I just messed everything up. I was being a jerk. The admission comes out rough, but it's honest. You shouldn't have to thank me after I literally soaked you. Quan chuckles softly, reaching out to pat Snapper's shoulder. See, Snapper, you're not all bad. Yeah, whatever. Snapper grumbles. There is no real heat behind it. His tail twitches once, not in anger this time, but in nervous energy. Fragor nods approvingly, looking at you with warm eyes. You're a brave little thing, aren't you? Most would be screaming or running away. He glanced at the sidewalk, then back at you. We can't just leave you here wrapped in a towel on a public street. Someone might step on you or try to take you. Snapper looks at you, then at the towel cocoon he helped create. A new idea forms in his mind. Hey, little one, since you're so tiny, would you feel safe if we carried you? We can find somewhere warmer and quieter than this stupid sidewalk, somewhere you can actually dry off properly. He extends one clawed hand, palm up on the ground beside you, offering it like a platform. We'll be super careful, I promise. No Pokeballs, no humans, no more milk. Just somewhere safe. Alright, guys, give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says, after hearing this and seeing Cole put his hand down, I nod and said, Yeah, that would be much safer. And after saying this, I try to walk over Totodile's hand while trying to keep the blanket on me. In order to do this, I tried to carefully grab the side of it with my tiny mouth and pull it while trying to walk. Because of how small I am, I'm basically getting nowhere. After just a minute of trying, I'm already slightly exhausted. Snapper watches you with growing concern as you struggle. His heart aches watching your little tiny form strain against the fabric, your legs working overtime just to move an inch. Every time you tug at the towel with your mouth, his claws flex involuntarily, wanting to reach out and help, but terrified that moving too fast would scare you. Hey, hey, stop! Stop, you're gonna tire yourself out! Toad calls out softly, his voice laced with genuine panic. Don't do that! You're already freezing! Frederick kneels down beside him, whispering, He's too small to drag that much fabric, Snapper. You have to help him. Snapper nods quickly, understanding. He doesn't wait for you to try again. Instead of waiting for you to climb onto his hand, he carefully slides his palm beneath you, supporting both your tiny body and the weight of the towel. He moves with the precision of someone handling a fragile eggshell, lifting you off the concrete with the gentlest upward motion possible. I've got you. I've got you. He murmurs, bringing you up to the level of his chest. Once you're safely settled on his palm, he brings his hand closer to his body, using his other claw to tuck the loose ends of the towel around you more securely, creating a warm little nest against his chest. The heat from his scales immediately begins to seep through the fabric to your shivering body. There, Snapper says, looking down at you. Exhausted eyes meet yours, and for the first time today, they look soft instead of furious. You don't have to walk anymore. Just rest. We're gonna get out of here. Carl picks up the remaining groceries, the ones that didn't get destroyed, while Fragger keeps a watchful eye on the crowd. Snapper begins to walk toward a quieter alleyway nearby, each step deliberate and smooth as he doesn't jolt you. Where should we go? Snapper asked quietly, looking down at your tiny face. We could go to the park where it's quiet, or maybe find a warm spot under some bushes. Anywhere you'd feel safe. Give me a moment, guys. I said, give me a moment, dadgummit. Alright, guys. I said, when I hear Joe ask this, I just looked up at him. It says, wherever you think would be safest is fine with me. After saying this, I smile at Joe before looking over at the chronon for alligator. Thank you all so much for even being caring enough to help. Do you all have nicknames? Snapper nearly trips over his own feet when you smile at him. He's so used to being snarled at by his parents or ignored by everyone else that your genuine smile feels like a physical shock to his system. He clears his throat roughly, trying to hide how flustered he is. Uh, yeah, okay. The park it is. There's a big hole wide near the old oak tree. It's hidden by some ferns. Nobody will see us there. It's quiet and warm enough. Snapper explains, his voice losing a defensive edge entirely. When you ask about nicknames, Fragger gives a warm rumbling chuckle, while Colonel grins, clearly pleased by your friendliness. I'm Fragger, but most people just call me Gator, the eldest one says with a kind nod. And I'm Crocodile, but you can call me Connie if you want, Colonel adds cheerfully, bouncing slightly on his feet. Snapper looks down at you, still giving one smile shy wag against the pavement. And I'm Snapper, since you asked. He paused, and added in a quieter voice, "Most people don't really ask about us. They usually just tell us what to do." The three siblings shared a meaningful look, a silent acknowledgment of the family dynamic Snapper struggles with every day. "We're almost there, little one," Snapper whispers, adjusting his grip to make sure you're snug against his chest. Snug, smug. The heat from his body is stronger now, and the gentle rhythm of his walking is almost hypnotic. "Just close your eyes if you need to. We're not going to let anyone bother you." Alright, give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. It says, when I hear the poem introduce themselves, I smile at them. Snapper, Connie, and Gator. That is some cool names. Nice to meet you all. I asked all my name. After saying that, I looked back over at Snapper and very gently leaned my tiny snout down to nuzzle his hand. Snapper's entire body goes rigid when you nuzzle his hand. For a moment, he actually forgets how to breathe. His heart hammers against his ribs like a trapped bird, not from anger or stress this time, from sheer overwhelming shock. Nobody has ever touched him like that. Not gently, not with affection. Usually hands mean grabbing, shoving, or pointing orders at him. A deep crimson flush spreads across his blue scales, reaching all the way to his snout. Trenton, he repeats quietly, says the name on his tongue. That's that's a good name. He looks down at you, his exhausted eyes glistening with something that looks suspiciously like emotion. When you nuzzle him, the tension that has been coiled in his shoulders since he woke up this morning finally begins to unravel. He doesn't pull away. Instead, he very carefully presses one clawed finger against your back, though the towel, a tiny hesitant gesture of reciprocation. You're You're really something, Trenton, Snapper admits, his voice cracking. Most people would be mad at us or scared, but you're just nice. Oh, Snapper's got a new best friend, Connie teases quietly as they walk, though his voice is full of affection. Shush, Connie. He's trying to be serious, Gator murmurs with a grin, though he keeps a protective eye on the surroundings as they approach the tree line of the park. Siblings duck under the heavy canopy of ferns, following the path to the secluded hollow log Snapper mentioned. The air here is cooler, but the ground is covered in soft, dry leaves that muffle their footsteps. Snapper finds the log. It's large, ancient, and perfectly sheltered from the wind. Gator and Connie help clear away some debris and make a soft nest of leaves inside, while Snapper carefully lowers his hand to the ground, lowering you into the makeshift bed. Here we are, Snapper whispers, kneeling beside the log. He keeps the towel draped over you, making sure you're completely insulated from the air. Safe and sound. How you feeling now? Still shivering much? Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. This is when I get lowered onto the leaf bed and I hear the question from Snapper. I shake my head. No, the towel really helped, and so did you, Snapper, Connie, and Gator. After saying this, I look up at them. What even happened back there? The only thing I really know is I heard what sounded like you screaming, Snapper, like you were angry, and I felt that cold liquid go all over me. Were you all getting groceries or something? Snapper sighs, a long, heavy sound that seems to carry all the weight of his entire morning. He sits back on his haunches beside the log, his shoulders dropping completely. Now that you're safe and warm, the truth starts to spill out. He doesn't know why, but there's something about your gentle voice that makes him want to actually talk, instead of just growling and shutting down. Yeah, Snapper admits, staring at his claws. We were getting groceries, but it's been a bad day. A really bad day. He gestures quickly toward the park entrance. My parents, they don't really do anything except yell and demand things. I've been doing chores since sunrise, cleaning the swamp, hauling trash, making sure my younger siblings have enough to eat. I don't get a single thank you or even a good job. His jaw tightens before relaxing again. And then I went to the store. Everything was a mess, and some human tried to. He shudders violently at the thought. Tried to trap me in a Pokeball like I was some kind of object instead of a person. He looks at you, his expression wrong. I snapped. I threw the bags because I couldn't hold the anger in anymore. I didn't mean to hit you, Trenton. I swear. I lost control. Connie sits down on the other side of the log, looking sympathetic. I don't know, he's been carrying a lot on his shoulders lately. We all try to help him, but sometimes even the strongest Pokemon has a breaking point. Gary nods solemnly, crossing his arms. It's been a rough morning for all of us, but seeing you get caught in the crossfire made us realize we needed to stop and fix what we broke. Snapper reaches out again, this time not to move you, but just to rest the tip of one claw against the edge of your towel cocoon, close enough to offer comfort without being overwhelming. I'm sorry you had to see that side of me. I'm usually not that explosive. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. It's just when I hear about what's happened to Snapper, Connie, and Gator, I frown slightly, but when I hear Snapper apologize, I smile again and very calmly shake my head. It's okay. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at any of you. I just saying this, I just try to understand everything a bit better. Your parents don't treat you the best and instead make you do everything. I'm really sorry to hear that. To be honest with you, I appreciate you still being nice to me. All of you, despite how you've been treated. Snapper stares at you for a long moment, his mouth slightly open. He seems almost stunned by your words. He's used to being defensive, always expecting someone to throw something back at him, to yell, to to demand he do more, or to judge him for his temper. But you're just sitting there in your little towel nest, offering nothing but understanding. A single tear actually pricks at the corner of one of his eyes before he quickly blinks it away, turning his head to pretend he's examining a nearby fern. You're too nice, Trenton, he mutters, though his voice sounds heavy with emotion. Most people would just see a grumpy Totodile and walk away. Or worse. Connie sniffles, wiping at his own eyes with a claw. See? This is why we like him already. He gets it. There was the Lord reaching hand on Snapper's back. It takes a lot of strength to stay kind when the Lord's giving you every reason to be angry. You're teaching him something important today, little one. Snapper finally looks back at me. Alright, guys, real quickly. Just never finally looks back at you. His expression softer than it has been in weeks. The exhaustion is still there. He's still a young Pokemon who has been pushed way past his limit. The bare edge in his posture is dulled. Thanks, Snapper says quietly, for not being mad, and for saying that. He pauses, and adds with a tiny, almost imperceptible smirk. I guess I owe you more than just a towel now. Once you're fully dried off and feeling better, maybe we can find some proper food for you. Something that hasn't been splattered with milk. He shifts closer to the log, leaning his side against the wood so he can keep watch over you while still being close enough to offer heat. You can stay here with us for as long as you need. We'll make sure nobody disturbs you. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. After hearing Snapper and everyone talk, I smile. You're very welcome. I'm really sorry for how you and all your siblings get treated by your parents. I'll tell you what, I can help you, Snapper, Connie, and Gator if you need me to. You said you threw down the groceries when you got angry, right, Snapper? Would you like me to help you get more so your parents don't yell at you when you get home later? Snapper's eyes go wide, and he actually stammers, his claws fumbling against the ground. You want to help us? But you're so small, and you just got drenched. The idea of someone so tiny and vulnerable offering to help him with his burden, the very thing that has been crushing him, makes his heart ache in a completely new way. Connie's jaw drops. Whoa, Trenton, you're a real hero, aren't you? Gator shakes his head slowly, a look of profound respect crossing his reptilian features. That's an incredibly kind offer, little one. We couldn't possibly ask you to do that. You've already been through enough today. Snapper looks down at you, and for the first time he doesn't look like a burnt out kid who's given up. He looks like someone who has been seen. You really mean that? You'd help me face my parents? His voice drops to a whisper. They're They're pretty scary when they're angry about missing food. They don't care about why it happened, they just care that the job isn't done. He saw us hard, and his expression shifts from uncertainty to something more determined. Tell you what, we'll get through this first. We'll make sure you're warm, dry, and fed properly. Then maybe we can figure something out together. We can't have you doing heavy lifting, obviously, but maybe you can help us plan. Or just being here talking to us like this. That's already helping more than you know. He reaches out, very careful, using one claw to nudge the edge of your towel, ensuring you're still snug. You're a good friend, Trenton. The best we've had in a long time. The afternoon sun begins to filter through the trees, casting dappled light across the hollow log. Snapper settles in beside you, his body heat creating a protective barrier against the cooling air. Why don't you try to close your eyes for a bit? We'll keep watch. Nothing's getting past Gator or Connie, and I'm not going anywhere. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. This is when I hear the snapper flip off. Connie and Gator say that. I smile at them. I calmly shake my head. That's very sweet. I can't do the heavy lifting for all of you, like you just pointed out, Snapper. I can give you a place where you can get the groceries and not be judged for being in the store. A place where you also can't be captured or hurt because creatures are welcome there. Honestly, you're not asking too much if you want that, especially you and your siblings were so kind to me today, Snapper. I'd love to help you. Snapper's entire body goes still as he processes your words. He stares at you with those exhausted eyes, but now they're wild with wonder. A place like that, where where we can just be, without some human trying to snatch us up or feeling like we're trespassing? The idea sounds like a dream to him, something he hasn't allowed himself to imagine in years. That sounds amazing, Trenton. Oh no, that's a wrong one. That sounds amazing, Trenton, Connie whispers, his tail wagging slowly against the leaf. A safe place for everyone. That's that's incredible. Gator nods slowly, his expression one of deep contemplation. A sanctuary. That would change everything for us. It would mean we wouldn't always have to be looking over our shoulders. He looks at Snapper, seeing the way the younger Poin's entire posture has shifted from defensive to hopeful. Snapper leans closer to the log, his voice hushed and reverent. You really have this place? For us? He doesn't ask if it's real. He sounds like he's afraid that if he asks, you'll disappear. I don't know what to say. After everything today, I thought the world was just one big mess of people yelling and taking things away. But you're offering us something we can actually keep. He reaches out, and this time he doesn't hesitate. He gently extends his claw to let you touch it again, a silent gesture of trust and gratitude. Thank you, Trenton. Seriously, we're going to take good care of you, okay? We're going to make sure you're safe while we figure out how to get to this place. He glanced at Gator and Connie, a new spark of energy replacing the old exhaustion in his eyes. Gator, Connie, we got a plan now. We just gotta get through this afternoon, get home, and then we start working towards somewhere better. Snapper turns back to you, his voice dropping to a soothing murmur. But first, you need to rest. You've done enough thinking for 3 Pokemon today. Just relax in your little nest. We're right here. We're not going anywhere. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. It's just when I hear the creatures react happily to what I said, I smile, but once again shake my head. You don't have to worry about me. I understand what you all have gone through because it's been the same for me, except it's with humans most of the time, always throwing rocks at me and my tiny head. People walking up to me and hitting me over my tiny head or snout, plus a lot worse. I promise it won't be no trouble if I show you that place. Besides, if your parents are as strict as you all say, wouldn't they yell at you just for being out too late? It's not that late right now, but the longer you wait, the later it is going to be. I just don't want you all being stressed again from being yelled at. The happy mood in the log evaporates instantly as you speak, replaced by a heavy, horrified silence. Snapper flinches as if you had physically struck him. His claws dug into the dirt beside the log, and his breathing becomes shallow and quick. Humans? They throw rocks at you? Snapper whispers, his voice cracking. Because you're tiny? Because you're just there? His anger flares up for a split second, not at you, but at the cruelty of it. That's not fair. That's not fair at all. Connie whispers softly, going up closer to the log, or whimpers slightly, crawling up closer to the log, clearly upset by your story. Even Gator's usual calm demeanor cracks. His jaw tightens, and his eyes flash with a protective fury. I had no idea. Gator rules quietly, his voice heavy with emotion. We thought we had it rough with our parents, but to face cruelty from strangers just resisting. He shakes his head, looking down at you with newfound reverence. You're tougher than any of us, Trenton. Snapper suddenly snaps upright, the practical realization of your warning cutting through a shock. He rolls his face with his claws, looking panicked. You're right! You're absolutely right! If we stay here too long talking about this, my parents will start their screaming before we even get home, and then the groceries will be the least of our problems. He looks at the sun filtering through the trees, noticing how quickly time has slipped away while they were caught up in the conversation. Okay, we gotta move, Snapper says. This was urgent, but still careful not to jostle you too much. Connie, Gator, let's gather what's left of the groceries quickly. We need to get home. Face the music. And then, he glances down at you with fierce determination. Then we come back for you. And we find that place. He turns his attention back to you, lowering his voice to it's between the two of you. I'm sorry you've had to deal with that, Trenton. Truly. But listen to me. We're gonna get through this day, and then we're gonna get you to that safe place. And maybe one day we can all be there together. He extends his hand again, palm up, waiting for you to accept the ride back. Are you ready? We'll be fast. I'll hold you as steady as I can. When I hear Snapper say that, and say that none of them are laughing or making fun of me, I smile. It's okay, Snapper. It's not that late yet. I'm just saying we can't sit here at this park for, say, over 3 or 4 hours if your parents are going to yell at you for being out so long. After saying this, I point up at the sky with my tiny claw. They might also yell at you and your siblings for not having everything. So if you wait to get more groceries, you're definitely going to be yelled at worse. You have plenty of time right now, so just relax. Mm. And I can show you that place. I promise, it's even closer than you think it is. For this, one response only. Give me a summary of everything that has happened from beginning to the point where I am in the story. something big enough to use as a memory, but shortened enough to where it won't use any tokens. Oh crap, I meant to pause this. I'm sorry, guys.